Hello and welcome to the next instalment of Pendragon Poetry. We are in a place called Stow on Weedale in the borders near Gala Shields. That is the beautiful Gala water, and up there in that hill, you can just make out the defences a little bit, is Craig End Hill Fort. And Craig End Hill Fort is very significant in British history because it seems to be the site of an Arthurian battle, King Arthur himself. Well, we are told this as much in the Historia Brittonum of Nennius, which tells us Arthur's 8th battle was fought at a place called Guignon. And in a 10th century recension, the Vatican recension, Mark the Anchorite tells us this. He took with him the image of Saint Mary, the fragments of which are still preserved in great veneration at Weedale, in English Wardale, in Latin Vallis Doloris. Wardale is a village in the Province of Lordenzia, but not blah 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 blah. So basically, this is what actually happened in the battle. The 8th battle was at the fortress of Guignon, which Arthur carried the image of Holy Mary, ever Virgin, on his shield, and the pagans were put to flight that day. And through the power of our Lord Jesus Christ, blah 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 blah. So, Arthurian battle takes place here. However, there's more, because of that religious element to it, we are told by a local historian, Thomas Wilson. He tells us, further on in the meadow to the right there is Our Lady's Well, where in former days there was a famous stone which according to tradition was reputed to bear the imprint of the Virgin's foot, blah 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 blah. So there's a sacred stone. And in Gododdin we read the following, we'll hear it later on. Attacking foes with fury at the rock, O sacred stone, or blessed Gali stem. Now Gali stem means like the Gala water, and here it is, this is the Gala water now. We are flowing gently by. So basically, but one of the battles of the Catreth campaign took place here. It's like 40 miles from Traprain and Edinburgh and stuff, and it's on the way to where I suspect the battle will be. So this was like a precursor to the main battle. Another couple of clues that indicate is so, like in the book of Taliesin, we hear that Gwaloch was responsible for Catreth. And we also hear of him fighting at a place called Gwensteri, which means blessed stream, which is also, according to local tradition, another name for the Gala water. So all evidence is pointing to the battle being fought, like here's an example from the text. Before the key to Gwenistras defence, that barricading mound and sloping ground, men drooped by the ford pass, tinted with gore. And there is indeed an old ford next to the ruined chapel up further up the valley in Wardale. It's a very nice place, by the way. And there's also a wood which seems to be the graveyard of fallen warriors. Look, the Thomas Wilson says, just beyond the curling pond we passed a place where the bogle wood of former days stood. It suggests, however, some kind of burial ground beside the ancient chapel of Our Lady of Weedale. And then there's also a connection between, there's some shingle mentioned in the poem. Anyway, without further ado, let's continue with the reading. Canto 2 of Gododdin, my version. Number 1. As battle approaches, arms assembled by warlike men stood poised by noble chiefs, and trenchers bustled to the curved horn's call. A great king and his crew shall carnage cause, dark gore spreading from bush stalk to the spear. 2. The men of Catreth clambered with the dawn about their long successful Gododdin. This Urian arose the most respected, his sovereign seat sustained and kept its ties. Both warrior and perfect prince baptized, the tribal pride of pride in wide arrayed at Gwenistrat, and made a constant charge. Not field nor wood the people could protect with shelter when the slaughter to them comes. Enthused, 3. Enthused with day dawn lifting up their limbs, men rose up, solid soldiers by their sides. But whether them at beck and call or king, it seemed as if them 100 men among, with dispositions urging on attack, in measures same as merrying with mead, along thick hack paths, prick blades, spare no foes, of those held on a forward horse-flung course. 4. He rode to war, while grass-fed cattle doze, sporting a lion's likeness, heart and stern, his mead meant courage through Gwanhanan moved. Gwanhanan, Gwinion. Battling for every inch, captain renowned, and as an iron, his prowess praised. All men should offer splendid-minded praise to Aethinian, brave Bodor Adaf's son. Number 5. Geraint from southern realms has raised a shout, him by the blessed stream, felt buckler pierced, sword master and best lord of gentle main, up mountains and o'er oceans far regaled, leader of the Gododdin soldiered youth, commander of true generosity. 6. 'Tis best the bards praise tribes illustrious, a message sent from Minidog, manlord, as through Gwanhanan, Udaf's daughter scourged, those clad in purple robes would crush and mangle men. 6. O Lord of Hreged, dealer in daring, what blaze of rage have revelled on thy brow, attacking foes with fury at the rock, O sacred stone of blessed garlish stem, forming a shield, defending thine own force, let battle settle in, brave Owen's soul. So that shows like Owen, Uriah's son Owen was present at the battle, which is significant and we'll come to later. 8. Unyielding, with broad shields, flashing sunflame, such glory greed demands harsh actions fame. Steeds fill the van, as spears plant blood-stained bones, while friends were stuck, so too were all our foes, spurning unendurable dishonour. Firm at the ford, there stood their stubborn ground, or dashed a many courtly champions. 9. Before he left his life beside the ford, a flight wild eagle swept through dewy morn, and scattered and advanced on either side, as bards must judge a man by noblest deeds. No ransom war-mad blood pursuits could prevent, or halt the devastations of his foes. When under swan-white steed was he interred, and slept him well, whom firm hearts could command. His armour covered with a quart of gore, undaunted Budvan, son of Bleidvan bold. 10. As rolling waves or shingle roaring wings, valiant men assault the foe in lines. Them after morning mush to mangled flesh. This day tumultuous, 3 parts played out, until in front was heard an active shout before the key to Gwenistrath's defence. That barricading mound and sloping ground, gore-tinted men fell drooping by the ford pass, dropping their arms in pallid misery, both peaceful and dejected with defeat. 11. Alright, days. Men wail on the walls of Gwanhanan, invoking Christ, knights of enriched descent, clothes clotted with blood, toiling in battle, incessantly, energetically, all thoughts of flight flown from their mighty minds. Number 12. Last one with the canto. Gore waging war has ravaged his retreat, far from the warm, safe hearthside of the hall, his cellars full of sweet ensnaring mead. To battle's clash as Gwyrus dashed at the dawn, giving the Angles interesting gifts, till Karma comes, inflicting cruel pain. Soon Gwyneth's son shall of his glory sing, and weep for his grave at Gwanhanan, where clutching the buck lance of Cadwallon, he bull-like wrought the battle of princes, till slumbering under muddy sod, Gododdin's foremost border knows his grave. So there you go. That Dark Age cemetery down by the ruins of the church is probably where those guys were buried, you know, and so the battle took place in the plain, in the meadow around us there, you can see. That's where the battle is taking place in this valley, and they're defending the castle as well. So this was where King Arthur fought his probably the most religious sacred battle, Stone Weedale. Okay, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to donate, don't forget to love Daisy. Leave comments saying how cool she is, don't have to mention me. Back on the game with the Gododdin readings. I've got 10 more cantos to go. There may be other Pendragon poetry collections interspersed in between them. I'll probably do more soon in one big mission down to Newcastleton area, Liddesdale, where I strongly believe the battle took place. Bye.